I've been feeling lonely. You've been on my mind. You're the only one who knows me. I need you, I need you. Boy, I need you. Shy. On me.
I know you need me. Have you turned on your TV? Have you seen what's going on? Our government is doing wrong. The French wouldn't let this slide. They would be outside. It don't matter day or night. And you know this shit ain't right. Man, fuck that nigga and his administration too. Get up out my bed. Gotta break this fucking news. Yeah, I'm a felon, but our president is too. They tryna redact his name, cause everything is true. Shout out my nigga bartender. He said, yeah, I'll fuck the law. If you come around me with a MAGA hat, I might break your jaw. Say, yeah, I'll fuck the law. Yeah, I'll fuck the law. Fuck that nigga Donald Trump, and yeah, I'll fuck the law. I know what side you on. I know what side you chose. Now you can either let me break this news, or you can make the news. Saying, yeah, I'm a felon, but our president is too. They tryna redact his name, cause everything is true. Hey, man, fuck that nigga Donald Trump. Fuck MAGA. Fuck all you niggas. You got something to say, you can suck my dick. Pussy.
Shy.
I know you need me. Have you turned on your TV? Have you seen what's going on? Our government is doing wrong. The French wouldn't let this slide. They would be outside. It don't matter day or night. And you know this shit ain't right. Man, fuck that nigga and his administration too. Get up out my bed. Gotta break this fucking news.
Late nights, I've been feeling lonely. You've been on my mind. You're the only one who knows me. I need you, I need you. Boy, I need you. Shy. On me.
I know you need me. Have you turned on your TV? Have you seen what's going on? Our government is doing wrong. The French wouldn't let this slide. They would be outside. It don't matter day or night. And you know this shit ain't right. Man, fuck that nigga and his administration too. Get up out my bed. Gotta break this fucking news. Yeah, I'm a felon, but our president is too. They tryna redact his name, cause everything is true. Shout out my nigga bartender. He said, yeah, I'll fuck the law. If you come around me with a MAGA hat, I might break your jaw. Say, yeah, I'll fuck the law. Yeah, I'll fuck the law. Fuck that nigga Donald Trump, and yeah, I'll fuck the law. I know what side you on. I know what side you chose. Now you can either let me break this news, or you can make the news. Saying, yeah, I'm a felon, but our president is too. They tryna redact his name, cause everything is true. Hey, man, fuck that nigga Donald Trump. Fuck MAGA. Fuck all you niggas. You got something to say, you can suck my dick. Pussy.
Shy.
I know you need me. Have you turned on your TV? Have you seen what's going on? Our government is doing wrong. The French wouldn't let this slide. They would be outside. It don't matter day or night. And you know this shit ain't right. Man, fuck that nigga and his administration too. Get up out my bed. Gotta break this fucking news.
Late nights, I've been feeling lonely. You've been on my mind. You're the only one who knows me. I need you, I need you. AUM Beats.
Baby, call my phone, man, you know what I've been on. I've been trapping all night, trying to bring that money home. I done lost a couple homies, man, this list go on and on. Every time they on my phone, they on my line, they ask for some. Trying to make that money, trying to get that revenue. Every time you call my phone, I'm high, I'm on Neptune. Every time you open your mouth, trying to tell me we're through. Every time I call your phone, you picked up like, baby, what's new? What's up with you? I'm on Neptune, what's up with you? Fly by like Futurama in my spaceship, tryna catch the drama, random make it, I'm tryna find your mama, baby, come on, come through. Baby, know what to do, baby, come through. Man, you're everything I needed in my life, don't make me tell you twice. Take that phone off D&D when you ain't by my side. You always hit me with the latex, baby, after midnight. Baby, call my phone, man, you know what I've been on. I've been trapping all night, trying to bring that money home. I done lost a couple homies, man, this list go on and on. Every time they on my phone, they on my line, they ask for some. Trying to make that money, trying to get that revenue. Every time you call my phone, I'm high, I'm on Neptune. Every time you open your mouth trying to tell me we're through. Every time I call your phone you picked up like, baby, what's new? What's up with you? I'm on Neptune. What's up with you? Fly by like Futurama in my spaceship trying to get the drama and make it. I'm trying to find your mama, baby, come on. Come through. Baby, know what to do, baby, come through. You're everything I needed in my life, don't make me tell you twice. Take that phone off D&D when you ain't by my side. You always hit me with the latex, baby, after midnight.
AUM Beats.
Baby, call my phone, man, you know what I've been on. I've been trapping all night, trying to bring that money home. I done lost a couple homies, man, this list go on and on. Every time they on my phone, they on my line, they ask for some.
What's going on? So, I know that timer did not run out. We're going to let it build up for a second. So Steven is over on the other side right now. I'm just trying to let people know. Hey, if you guys are over on TikTok on this phone right now, also come over to YouTube. I'm about to end this live. YouTube or Twitch? Who is King Triv on YouTube? Who is King Triv _ on Twitch? All right, let me end this now because I got time. All right, so Steven, who has been sitting idly by, I'm about to just bring him up on the screen. Steven, we're just going to start talking a little bit. We're not gonna get it rolling yet. We're gonna wait for people to start rolling in here. It takes a little bit, especially when I do some shit last minute and I tell people I'm doing it. But yeah, man, you want to just give us a little bit of an introduction on yourself? Because I'm gonna end up posting this on YouTube anyways for the people who don't see the live. So.
Yeah, so I live in I live in the Portage area, which is in Northwest Indiana, not very far from Gary, and I work in the Munster area, which is on the other side, pretty much. I live east of Gary, and I work west of Gary, so I pass through there every day. So, basically, we were we were hit with what's called a derecho. That derecho is basically like hurricane winds on land. And along with that was tornadoes, and my area where we were affected was hit pretty directly. I was only about a quarter mile away from where the tornado actually touched down, and I felt the wind in firsthand. They were reporting over 100-mile winds out there, and it stretched all the way from Munster straight on down through Northwest Indiana and up through Portage. And where I worked got the worst of it, and probably the second worst was Portage, from what I can see. But mind you, back in July, Gary also went through a devastating tornado, and that was just back in July. And since then, do you want me to pretty much just go through the whole thing?
Yeah. So just let's do this. I was trying to do two things at once. So just talk. So you've been staying where currently?
Currently, I've been staying in my office, and we just got power 2 days ago.
So you've been having to sleep on the floor in your office for the past how many days?
For the past 2 days. Yeah.
2 days.
Or 3 nights, actually.
Okay, and then before that, where were you staying?
Just in my apartment, in the dark.
Okay.
And this is the second time this year that we were out of power for over 5 days. This is the second time this summer, actually.
Yeah, I know. There was a lot of people in my comments on the video that we posted, I posted earlier with you, who were saying that this is the third time or something like that. Or maybe it is the second. I was going through the comments.
No, we lost power again. It just wasn't for as long.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so it was the third time. Yeah, so
Yeah,
they were saying
yeah.
it's the third time. This is ridiculous. We need a class action lawsuit against NIPSCO is what it's called, right?
Yeah. And to add insult to injury, they've also their prices, their how much you pay, has been going up astronomically. It's probably doubled in the last year.
Yeah, there was people in my comments saying that too. I did actually a lot of research because I've driven through Gary, Indiana on my way to Minneapolis when I was going for the Renee Good and Alex Petty situations back in like January, I think. Damn, it's already been like 8 months. And so I driving through, I saw what kind of Gary kind of looked like, which was essentially a it looked like just factories, you know, it's right outside of Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's like what 45 minutes outside of Chicago.
Not even closer than that, really.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, and it does have a lot of factory, but Gary does they've done a lot in the past couple of years to beautify the city.
Okay.
The Eddie Melton, the mayor, he's done a really, really, really great job. And then there are a lot of beautiful areas in Gary, but there are also a lot of places that are underdeveloped and don't have resources. There's no Walmart in Gary. There's no major grocery stores. There's not a lot of major businesses. They're getting them, and it's coming up. Like they're getting a lot of new stuff, and they're getting a lot of new jobs and a lot of new factories. But traditionally, in the past 30 years, it just hasn't been that. So when things like this happen, they're affected even worse because it's a big area with very little resources.
Okay, so let's just start. Maybe just run through the beginning. I mean, we have enough time if you have the time to talk about it. Let's just start with.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was warnings that this storm was going to happen, and I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear.
No, we knew about this for like a week.
Yeah, so outside, I want to let you know now, and I'm a news guy. So me being the news guy, like you would think, I didn't know that. First off, I didn't know it was a hurricane. Or I didn't know what a
Derecho.
derecho. I didn't know what that was because in San Diego we have. I have to explain. Wow. Not El Nino.
Oh,
Yeah, El Nino. No, El Nino's in
El Nino?
the Santa Ana winds. I have to explain the
Okay.
Santa Ana winds to people because people just don't know what that is, and it's just literally hot air that comes from like South America, Mexico, and it literally just blows hot breath. It could be 100 degrees outside naturally, and the Santa Ana winds will make it 121 degrees. Your shoes are melting to concrete. So
Yeah.
like I didn't know what the derecho was, and then I also didn't know that it was a hurricane or a tornado. I didn't know it was a tornado. I personally, on God, assumed from the videos, because all the videos are just people upset about how dark it is and no power. I just assumed like something happened with the grid. I assumed some flooding maybe. I didn't realize it was a tornado. And then when we started talking about it, I started looking way deeper into it because mainstream media isn't really talking about it, and that's when I saw all the damage and destruction. And then I found out it's not. It's like some parts of Chicago were also fucked up.
Yeah, it stretched. It started in Illinois first, and it worked its way all the way down, the Ohio Valley is where it went.
Okay.
But we knew about this storm for a very long time, and I mean, you know what you got with Gary specifically. I mean, it affected the entire Northwest Indiana area, but the reason why people are focusing so much on Gary is because they just don't have the resources that the other places have traditionally. And that's not the government not having the resources. The people that live there may not have the resources to buy, a generator or to be prepared. The government is a whole different story. The government actually does a really, really great job. And when it's
Like
time
local,
to go,
the local
they go.
government, right?
Yes. Our councilmen are good. They do a phenomenal job. Their response was really great. They're working with AT&T. They're working with Keith Lee wanted to pitch in and do some things with the. It's just everyone's really pitching in and doing their part. But
I saw the video.
it's just
Keith Lee posted earlier about. I think he said he was coming down there, right?
Yeah, he said he was going to start his food tour in Chicago, but instead he's going to start it in Gary, which is right down the street. So.
I'm not trying to be. You know what? Before I started doing breaking fucking news, bro, I did like comedy and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to know, when does he think he's about to go get some food out of Gary, Indiana, with the power?
Well, he said he was going to partner up with some major companies because he's got that pull now. And then
Yeah, of course, but like, what are they like? If there's no power, the grid is fucked, right? So
Right.
I'm trying to figure out how that's gonna work. You know? Like,
I mean, some people are some people have gas, have like a gas stove in their house, and they're making food with that. The people of Gary are very resourceful, very resourceful. Just because it is inconvenient right now and it's devastating right now, and it affects the people who are elderly and can't get around. The communities come together very well. and I don't want them to seem hopeless at all. They got some. There's people who have water. And even in my place, I don't have power, but I do have water, and I have hot water. So there's luckily there we were able to make out okay on some things, but there are a lot of people who are in who can't afford to be out of power for another week or more. And today, Eddie Melton released a video that pretty much kind of voiced the frustration that he's having with NIPSCO, and he says that they won't give him a clear answer on anything going on right now.
You're gonna keep rolling. I'm just telling people to join over here. You're good.
No, you're good. You're good.
I can multitask really well.
No, you're good. So he's
if you guys are watching,
pretty much voicing for people that
right now,
NIPSCO isn't giving them a definitive time on when they were going to get their power back, and that when it came to Gary, there was very, very little information, if not any information at all.
We are doing
so. He's voicing that to the masses, and they're doing their part. So I don't want to make it seem like
who is King Trib, who's King Trib,
the government isn't coming through. They are
doing this. We're going to be live for the next 45 minutes. I just went live to tell you guys
they're playing in our faces, just like I said earlier.
YouTube and Twitch.
It's just a very unfortunate situation.
Okay, so very good at multitasking. I told you. So with the storm when it struck. You said your main priority was to get your employees to like a safe location when it hit.
Yeah, so they were in the building. I have another on our campus. We have a studio, production studio. So I was in the production studio. That's where my office is. That's where I am right now. And so when it got bad, I had one employee that was on the way. I told them to stop and turn around and go the other way, go back home. And then I pulled in, and as soon as I pulled in, it was just getting to us, and we were feeling pretty much the majority of the hit. And we didn't come up for a little bit, but yeah, it was pretty scary because when I like those winds, when I got out of my car and I hit it to the door, I could see the door, and then it was just like the wind was so powerful, I couldn't see what was in front of me. I had to close my eyes and run with my eyes closed and just hope I made it to the door. It was crazy.
Yeah, I saw online they were not online. I saw it with some media that was talking about. They're saying this is like one of the worst storms in history, like the history of the region or the area.
Yeah, that's what my OGs are saying. The older folks that I know, they're my friend Mary. She said that she hasn't seen anything like this since the 70s.
So, damn. Okay.
Yeah.
So so now the population. I know I asked you this question earlier, but for the sake of the live here and for YouTube, would you say the population of Gary is a pretty good mix of black, white, and other ethnic groups, or is it?
It's majority black.
Okay. And then I know you were saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, with Gary, it's a lot of black folks, but we do in Northwest Indiana as a whole. Northwest Indiana has a very big mix of people. They have a big Hispanic community. They have of course, there's their white areas, and then there's also some really cool black areas, historic black areas. So it's got a good mix of everything, but specifically in Gary is mostly black.
Okay, and would you say that the majority of the areas, I know you were saying on the NIPSCO website that the areas that have dates or slated for return power are majority of the higher end kind of preppy middle class areas?
So it's a mix. It's a mix of like when like the first people who got power were the people who were on the furthest outside and the furthest suburbs. So they of course those are bigger houses. Those are higher dollar. The more urban that you got was where the most devastation was. Except for where I'm at in Munster, people make pretty decent money in Munster. Munster is a wealthier area, prestigious area. It's a nicer area. And in Munster specifically, they got hit the worst, but they still have a date where they're going to get power. Now, here's a tricky thing with Gary. Gary is 3 or 4 times the size of Munster.
Okay.
And it has a bigger population, and it probably has less resources.
Quick question for you while I pull this up. What's the county? Yeah. Is there a county that all these
Lakes.
Lake County?
Yeah, we're all in Lake County.
Okay, I just want to pull up a map and then pull that up next to us. So while you're talking, you can go ahead and
I have one
okay.
pulled up to share my screen, but I didn't know if I could do that.
No, yeah, go ahead. I think it should work. I've never had anybody else actually try to share the screen on her before, so
Let's see.
it should have let you do it.
Okay.
Add to scene. All right, let's take this one. Give me 2 seconds to. Yeah, it's funny. That's I was just about to pull this up. All right, let's make this bigger for everybody, and then they can still hear us.
Okay. So, this is going into Illinois. I'm right here, pretty much in Munster, right on the border of Lansing, right on the border of Indiana and Illinois. So the storm was pretty much coming from this way and making its way up, and from like Olympia Fields, that area, and that's the majority of like the tornado track, if I'm correct. I think it came up this way, like straight up here,
Okay.
and then crossed over. And they got hit in Maryville too, so crossed over in Maryville, and then I'm over here in Portage, and it came right back up here.
Oh shit. Okay, so you live all the way in Portage, and you drove all the way to Munster, where your office is
Yeah,
at.
so I live here. I live actually right here, right about there, right there,
Okay.
and I work right here.
Can you show me where like Gary is? Because Gary being the biggest.
Gary is all of this, so all of this.
Okay, got you. Okay, so Munster to the left is on the border. Portage on the right is on the border, and
Yeah,
then
I'm
in between all
actually.
of that.
That's Gary.
It's crazy that the first Google image of Gary is an abandoned house. That's insane.
That is insane because Gary is very
Wow.
beautiful. Gary
What the
has an
fuck?
international airport.
Yeah, what? That's fucking wow. Okay, okay. So that's Gary. The red line right there is Gary.
Yeah, all of this is Gary, and then
Okay.
this is like the money area. It's a nice area, $1 million houses.
Okay. So now with the area affected, like if you could just outline that with your mouse, like every area that you could, like just broad. You don't got to be exact. That's
Yeah,
kind of
so
affected by it.
like just pretty much straight through.
Oh
This
shit.
this this is so this is Northwest Indiana. This is all of it
Okay.
here. So this
So
entire area was affected.
okay. So now with flooding, has there been severe flooding? Has all the flooding kind of subsided? I
No,
saw.
the flooding and stuff is further south.
Oh, so there's still flooding though.
Yeah, that's the flooding is more like Indianapolis down there.
Okay.
Muncie, Muncie is underwater. Muncie is southern Illinois.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get this back this way. All right, there we go. It's perfect. Okay, so wow, that is a fucked up.
Well,
So
I was trying to tell you, it's a huge area.
so do you? Okay, so clearly we all know Trump cut the budget on FEMA and stuff like that. Do you
Right.
think this is such a severe situation where FEMA needed to be or needs to be involved?
I thought about that because I was in there. Yeah, FEMA would have been able to help something like this very,
Okay.
very easily, and it would have been. I'm pretty sure it would have been a lot easier on the cities to do what they can because you got to think Indiana's so big. Like the biggest city, Gary, like I said, they
Hmm.
probably have the least amount of resources. You know,
Okay.
I don't know politics and money and stuff. They've been doing really good to come back, but it was a poor city for a long time. So it's this type of devastation, like they need all the help they can get, and I yeah, that one doesn't make sense. That's not
Okay.
something. And
Now,
this isn't on the same level as Katrina at all by any means because
of
that
course.
was you know but to be able to help in certain things like that. I mean, when Tornado Alley has moved and where it has moved to in the Midwest, those areas aren't built for with tornado shelters and things like that. The traditional Tornado Alley of 100 years ago that came down through like Nebraska, Oklahoma, all those places, they have the infrastructure for that. When they built those cities and those towns, they were building for the weather and building for those type of situations. That's not necessarily how Illinois and Indiana are built. Illinois is about to break the record for the most tornadoes in a year. They're on track to break the record.
I remember. So I used to. Fun fact: I used to be stationed at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, which is
Hmm.
not too. It's like 5 hours from Chicago, 2 hours from St. Louis. We experienced a tornado warning on Fort Leonard Wood 3 times when I was stationed there, and by the third
Yeah.
time, I had a guy who lived in Missouri but was stationed in Missouri on his he'd been in the military for a couple of years, and he said this is the most tornadoes he's ever seen since he was a kid, and he was born in 1975.
Yeah. Tornado Alley has geographically moved. It is no
Okay,
longer where it used to be.
okay, so
Yeah, we've been getting hit. This is the second or third time we've had tornadoes this year, like major ones.
have you heard anything about like a death toll, or if it's high, if it's low, if you heard anything at all?
Yeah, so there's only been one death that I know of, and that was it wasn't like it wasn't a tornado involved death. Well, kind of. So a couple blocks away from where I live in Portage, there was a house that blew up. So, but it was a gas leak. So the storm went through, and the husband left, I believe. They were an elderly couple, and the husband left to go get some things, and the house blew up with the wife inside. And I was like, I know, and that was like a couple blocks away from where I live. So I'm trying to get home on that day because the all that didn't happen in the nighttime. The derecho and the tornadoes happened at lunchtime, like at noon. It was a
Brother,
beautiful day afterwards.
yeah, he left his house to
Yeah,
go get
and the house blew
supplies.
up. Yeah, I know it's terrible.
He said they're elderly.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, I think they were in their 80s or something.
God forbid, he ain't gonna make it.
I mean, yeah,
He ain't,
but
yeah,
I mean,
that's crazy. Could
his
you
area got
imagine
hit so hard too.
that? Imagine you're like, okay, everything will be fine. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna rent out the house real quick, sweetie. She probably can't move that well, so he's probably like, I'll be right back. And he goes to the store, comes back, house is gone. That's crazy.
After surviving a tornado, one of the worst.
Fuck.
Yeah, because in this neighborhood that he lives in, I live right down the block, so I saw the whole in the neighborhood that he lives in. He lives on Route 20 right here. It happened right here.
Wait, where? Oh, I don't see your mouse. Move your mouse around real quick. Oh, it's because it's okay. I gotta make it bigger. Hold on, 1 second. That's why. All right. Okay.
Yeah, right there.
Whew.
That's where it happened. And if you're driving down that road, 20 is on the other side of his neighborhood. If you're driving down 20, you would think that the explosion happened on the entire 20, but that was just a storm. So it survived the storm and then blew up after the storm. Yeah.
That's fucking okay. Well,
Mhm.
so okay, let's talk about the nighttime and
Yeah.
how things have been in the area of Lake County.
It's scary.
All right.
And you know what? And here's the thing. I've been a black man all my life. I'm about I'm about 5'11" and a half, 6 foot in shoes with the hair. Usually dreadlocks, they're different colors. Usually I'm the danger, right? And
That's
you know that.
I be saying that
Usually,
shit too. I be like, I have girls like, why do you walk around parks at 3 in the morning by yourself? Oh, I'm 6'4", 220 pounds, and I'm black. So
right. I usually I'm the danger, right? So, but Gary is like I said, it doesn't have my area is scary in Portage, but I don't drive in Gary when it's regular and at night. And that's not just it's just it's it doesn't it's kind of really spread out, like when you live in an area where there used to be so many houses, so many everything, and it just starts to go away and everything is just kind of more spread out. Grocery stores are far away, like, and there's a lot of like dead land and stuff like that. So in certain areas are very beautiful, certain areas are really nice. There's certain historical areas that are cool at night, but just on a regular, there's a lot of areas where you just shouldn't be at night, especially like close to downtown, like at all.
but overall, you haven't heard too many crazy things happening at night. Like,
No, people are protecting themselves. People are protecting themselves because you got to think generators will get stolen at night. Different things like you can't see.
yeah,
You
no,
can't see.
somebody, yeah, you know what's crazy? It's that you bring that up, and I just remembered somebody in my comments on Instagram was like, I know a rich family in like Chicago trying to donate like 50 generators from their warehouse. And then it was an argument essentially in my comments because somebody replied and was like, I deleted the comments because it was just a stupid argument. But somebody replied and was like, well, it wasn't a stupid argument. It just started getting heated. They were like, if you drop those generators off, you're gonna get people killed. And then they replied
Yeah.
back, and they're like, what do you mean? They're like, people are stealing generators right now. And then somebody else was like, well, they could just put it in the garage. They're like, if you ever try to put a gas powered generator in your house,
You
and
can't do that because of the carbon monoxide.
exactly,
So, but also on top of that, like, yeah, people can have generators, but do you have the money to spend to keep it running?
exactly, the gas, and
You
then
know?
yeah, bro, yeah, it was just, I don't know, man. So what do you? Okay, I want you to be able to just talk a little bit about everything. I've been cutting you off a little bit here and there.
No, no,
So
no. I just feel like it's crazy at night because, and it's not just the dark; it's the heat. Right now, the world is going through something where it's heating up even more with the El Nino. It's heating up a lot. It's like in the 80s at night sometimes. So, and you have to have the windows open, but if you let the windows open, then you get the mosquitoes. Right now, I got scabs all over and all types of stuff from mosquito bites because I slept with the window open. But I'm used to sleeping with a fan. I'm a big dude. That's how I sleep. I warm up really easy. So sleeping has been a real struggle. I slept in my car a couple nights because I got a newer car with good air, but I'm scared to sleep in my car because it's dark. Like, what if somebody try to rob me in my car? Luckily I live in an area where people just don't walk there just because it's kind of rural a little bit. There's not you gotta want to get there to get there. But if I was robbing somebody, I would probably go there to get something because ain't nobody else going over there, and it's dark. And
so
what are
what are
they?
the what are the cops doing?
Portage police are good, but it's just I mean I just feel like the government officials that we have, like, we have good cops here. Even Gary has good cops. I'm good friends with a Gary cop. Um, we have good policing. We have good fire departments. It wasn't. They're just overwhelmed. Like, they're out. They're humans too. They're going through what we're going through. Their power don't get cut on because they're a public servant. So they feel it like we feel it, and we're all in it together. It's that damn NIPSCO.
So is the
It's that
we're gonna get into that in a second. Is the airport open?
Gary International. I would say so because it was so far north.
Oh, okay,
Um, yeah, yeah. It's right here on the lake almost.
got you. And then to the left, right there, Chicago, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
Um,
I heard East Chicago also got smacked pretty bad.
Yeah, yeah. Well, not really. Not as bad. Not as bad because my first day when I had to get gas, so I work right here and I could only find gas right here.
Oh,
That's
okay.
how far I had to go to get gas. And then the next day
Whoa,
I
wait, you
needed
had to go from Munster.
here to Whiting. I had to go all the way up to right here
Was this like a 50-minute drive, ain't it?
with no street lights. Nobody got street lights or nothing. Yeah, it was probably about an hour, but then I filled up and then I was able to book it all the way home and then all the way back here. And then the next day my power was out at work and my power was out at home. So we couldn't work or anything like that. So I had to make sure I got food and everything. And the only place I could get food was here.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Where?
Here.
How far is that?
From, like, if you have, because you got to think I'm right here on this little 20 on this freeway, so it's like a 20, it's like a 30-minute drive,
Oh,
but you're
okay.
fighting everybody else. You're fighting everybody else in line for gas, in line for because their stuff is shut down too. Because when the power went out, the power went out all the way down here.
Okay.
That's the full extent of the storm. So these people were out of power too in Valparaiso, and they're like the closest bigger area for me to get stuff because everybody in here's they didn't have nothing. There's nothing, 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 nothing. But I found a burrito down here. Actually, I lied. I found that burrito too. I had to wait an hour for that burrito. It was worth it because they don't make burritos out here like they do in Arizona where I live for a little while. So I found that. But
So my question here is right with like
uh,
okay, so for you, like you own you have an apartment or a house.
yeah, I live in an apartment.
So okay, so you have to pay rent, and then you also have to pay rent at this office that you're well, the power's back on, but nobody could go to work. So
Mhm.
essentially, you're not really able to do your job. So how financially, if you're okay with talking about that, how are you planning on getting by after like when rent's due in 2 weeks?
I mean, luckily, I work in production. I have an investor, so my
Okay.
situation is very different from a lot of other people's. But you got to think there are businesses that are mom and pop businesses that are essential to the area all over. There's tons of businesses that are just not on. Their power is just not back. They're not a Target or a Kroger or that type of, in order to have power. So they're just not there anymore. And then you think about Gary, who doesn't have a Target. They don't have anything as big as Target or any grocery store that's like a branded grocery store. So where are those people that first day when all their stuff got knocked out? Where did they have to go? You know, think of how far they had to drive to. Because if you go back through Illinois, the storm came from Illinois, so Illinois was out too. The only
Okay.
place you can really go and get stuff was if you're going to the city, and you don't really want to do that, or if you go south. If you go south,
You saying
probably
city
about
like Chicago or
yeah, the city, yeah, because Chicagoland, when they say Chicagoland, they stretch it all the way almost down to Michigan City.
okay?
Yeah,
So okay, so like in your apartment complex, predominantly black, I'm
it's
assuming
a condo. It's like a
condo. Okay, so
it's just like a house.
oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So how would you? I know you're not like this isn't your field, but like what do you think? Like when rent's due next month in about 2 weeks, power's been out now for a week. We're on
Yeah.
no a week and some change. What day 10?
I mean, for a lot of people, they're just ass out.
Yeah, so I know that from the NIPSCO website when I was looking at it, they said that Munster is supposed to have power, full power back on today. Is
Yeah.
that did that happen?
No.
Okay, so we're gonna be moving
Oh,
into
no, no,
day.
no, 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 no. Munster, no, no, no. If you look at it, Munster is the 25th.
Oh, what the fuck was I reading?
No,
Okay, so
there are cities that were supposed to get power today, and then Munster is on the 25th with Hammond. And then after that, if your city wasn't listed, it's kind of like,
okay, so that's so
yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
So my city in Gary, they don't know.
So like when people yeah, so when people work, they haven't been able to work for 2 weeks. That means
There's some people who haven't been able to work for 2 weeks. Yes.
jobs are not going to be able to pay their employees like bigger. I'm sure you have, but for
Yeah.
for others, what do you think the outcome is going to be on was it September 1st when all the bills are due? Well, light
I
bill,
mean,
NIPSCO can suck a dick, but like,
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of businesses that can claim different insurance things, damages. There's an Indiana damage that there's you can claim damages right now on a website through the government. They're giving up to $5,000 as well.
local
If
government, state government,
yeah, the state government.
state government. Okay,
Yeah,
has
I
this
think it,
been classified as a national emergency yet for you?
yeah. Well, it's a state of emergency, and the different cities have declared, and I think the state did too.
Okay,
Let me see, Indiana damage.
here I'll pull your screen back up.
Um, I can't remember exactly what it is. Damage restore fund. Okay, yes, this one here.
Try to get this. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out which screen's the best. All right, we'll just maximize it. It's fine. Hold on 1 second. All right, good.
So it's the disaster relief form, and you go to the second one, and it's the August 2026 disaster form, and basically it's not loading for some reason, but when you go into it, they're giving the state is giving up to $5,000 if you fill that out, and you can claim your damages down there. And I'm sure there'll be like an adjuster or whatever, but there's that. And then a lot of people who did have damage to their homes and whatnot, you do have your insurance and things like that to take care of your homes. And so, but some people can't afford to pay out of pocket for the damages and be reimbursed. So that's the thing. And there's businesses that have that, maybe that business was just holding on, and a 2-week shutdown, they couldn't survive it, even with their payroll insurance, even with insurance on the buildings and all the work. So there's a lot of, when the power does come back, there'll be a lot of questions on who survives, because this is going to have like a COVID-like effect on communities.
Oh, of course. Real quick, for everybody who also in the comments, you guys can also ask questions, and I'll read the comments as since we got Steven here for a little bit. I'm asking questions as much as you guys are asking questions. I have absolutely no idea what's happening in Gary, Indiana, other than two black women who've posted videos. And as a black woman, and as a woman, period, in Gary, Indiana right now, you hear this, this black man up here telling you that it's scary right now. You got to understand that there's women who live on their own, no family around.
With a family.
Exactly, or with family, and just single parents. You never know, like single moms. And you guys I think we gotta take into consideration that this is a severe situation that is gonna slowly have a trickle effect into other things like you're talking about here. I think the overall thing here is like, I'm my heaviest concern, and there's a possibility I may try to come out that way. Money's a little fucked up for me right now, but is just because, like, I'm thinking about, like, I know these businesses are going to be able to get some type of funding back, hopefully, for the ones who can. But like for these people who just have no work now, and that was their next paycheck is only going to be $100, because you're a cool boss, and I had a cool boss. I had to fucking argue with my boss during COVID. She tried not to fucking pay me because she was a Republican. She was a MAGA. She had a fucking picture of Trump on the wall back in 2020. When Trump's first term, I was in the military, and I got out the military, and I was working off base, or I was working not too far from the base, and she was trying to argue with me, talking about if you got COVID, it's only a 3-day wait period. Lady, I'm dying right now. I'm throwing up, coughing, and I had to argue with her about getting paid. Because I'm like, if you don't pay me, I'm not coming to work. So
yeah,
pick your poison with this. I just won't show up, and you can just figure that shit out with your 3 other employees. But like for the people who aren't going to be working and are probably sitting here now on day fucking 11, I think that's what we said. It's like day 10 now today, and then it's about to be day 11 in a couple hours.
I lost. What day is it today? Thursday. I lost service last Tuesday, so day 9.
So day 9, about to be day 10. Okay.
Yeah.
So by day, there's no dates on when you guys are going to get power back. There's still trees down in the road. Half of the the southern part of Indiana is flooded. So with all this, like, these landlords in these companies and these whatever are going to be like, well, I know the first thing they're going to say, because I know this happened, especially during Katrina. Well, did you have renter's insurance? Like, what is that? Then I go to the renter's insurance. The renter's insurance is going to tell me I didn't have storm coverage. I didn't have tornado coverage. I didn't have flood coverage. Oh, your gas ain't working. You don't got. So my largest concern is what is going to happen to the population of people who aren't going to be able to pay their rent on the 1st of September. And are these landlords essentially going to use this as another COVID situation, like they did during COVID, where a lot of people were being evicted and rent moratoriums had to be put in place, which a lot of them didn't even actually happen. So what do you think the solution with that? Do you feel like in like a month or so you're going to see a large influx of people essentially losing their homes? Or
I don't think so, because we have such progressive political atmosphere here, with Frank Mervan being from out here, our state senator, or a senator for this area, and the mayors in the surrounding areas, the mayor of Portage, and Austin Banta, and the mayor of Gary, Eddie Melton. They're very, very progressive. They're very in tune, and they get things done. Portage had their hand in getting the stadium for the Bears too. They had a bid. They listened to Portage. They listened to Gary. These are experienced mayors who are really good at what they do, and they take care of their people. And you can get in touch with them. You know, like I'm not too far off from being able to talk to Eddie Melton or being able to talk to Awesome Banta if I go through the right people, and everybody is like one person away from these guys. So they know the community and they take care of it. So I don't think that they would let people be taken advantage of in their city. And you know, this is a pretty it's a pretty blue area. I mean, or I mean, it's a pretty there's a lot of black folks. It's very urban, you know. It's a lot, so it's everybody knows what's up down here. They're gonna take care of everybody. I think the government does a really great job, but where I think people are the thing is just a utility company more than anything, and that's the only fault that you know, I pay for utility. I pay for, you know, I want to be taken care of the way that everybody else is taken care of, and I want it to be fair and everything. And I just think that they did a really bad job with preparation for this storm that we knew were coming, and it wasn't enough communication from them. And
This is the CEO there of NIPSCO for you.
oh yeah, I've never seen that guy before.
His name is Vince Parisi. He lives in southern. He lives in Akron, Ohio.
Wow, must be nice.
So, so somebody actually just commented on a post of mine saying that NIPSCO actually had an issue earlier this year with a lot of their employees because there was a disagreement between the workers union for NIPSCO and the employees, or the employer, the employees, and the workers union. There was like some type of disagreement between the parties, and you know, so you know, from what you're saying,
I'm familiar, but I'm not familiar.
yeah. So, but what you're saying is NIPSCO's always been an issue in this area.
Well, it's just it's just not a steady grid. It's just not. Whenever something happens, whenever it's a thunderstorm, our power just goes out way too easy. And knowing that, having just, you know, lost service for 5 days back in July, and you know that there's a bigger storm coming in a week, like common sense is common sense. Like it's not at that point, it's not a whole lot that you gotta know. If you don't have a strong system, and you know you're about to have a bigger storm than what you just dealt with, those were like, and like I said, people lost their homes and people lost their lives in that last storm in July. I went through an area that I was actually going to purchase a home in, and it wasn't there no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was bad. And that was in July. And then
Yeah,
turn
so
around and know that this is coming. It's like you playing in our face now.
I think these are conversations that we definitely need to have, especially as Black people. You know, I lived in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for a few years. I was born there, lived there. I wasn't raised. I was raised in San Diego, California. Something heavily that I noticed, especially in Pittsburgh when I first moved there, we would have like a severe thunderstorm, which Pittsburgh is only like 6 hours away from Gary, Indiana. It's actually not that far. I think Chicago drive from Pittsburgh to to Chicago is like, I know from Pittsburgh to Detroit's 5 hours, so it's only like 7, 8, 9 hours to Chicago. I do know for sure that in Pittsburgh, especially, like you're talking about the grid and every time there was a thunderstorm, we had like a whole year when I was still living there last year of thunderstorms around this time, and every time there was a thunderstorm, our power went out. And it was so bad one year, or last year, that the power went out in the majority Black neighborhoods, and they didn't restore the power in Pittsburgh for like 5 to 6 days. Like I had friends, I had like exes calling me who I had talked to who had kids, like, hey, can I come to your place and shower? I saw you still have power. Like I had people, homeboys texting me like, yo, bro, can I stop by your crib and put some stuff in your fridge? I had just moved into my apartment. It was in the project. So fun fact, for those who don't know a little bit about my life, before the breaking fuck the news shit took off, I was selling weed. I was selling narcotics. So I was well connected with a lot of people in the community. So they started hitting me up like, yo, I need some gas. I will tell you, my sales went up when the power went out because people were stressed.
Oh, I don't know if I can say this, but oof, high
No, we're on
times.
YouTube and Twitch, bro. You can say what you want.
High times, man. That's all
Yeah.
we've been doing.
So
That's how you pass the time.
so I
It's
had a
not
lot of
enough.
my friends hitting me up like, yo, can I just moved in. I didn't keep food in the fridge like that. So people were like, "Yo, can I put some food in your fridge?" I had a fridge full of food to the point I had a fucking somebody's uncle come to my apartment in the projects. I had a 3-bedroom apartment. I had kids. I had somebody come into my. I had somebody's uncle bring fridges, and this is just in Pittsburgh for 5 days. So I can only imagine what's going on right now. They came over to my apartment, dropped off 3 mini deep freezers because my living room was empty. So they put 3 deep freezers in my living room, and we just filled everything with like frozen food items for people around the community. And then when the power finally came back, we started slowly. People started picking up their stuff, but like it was bad, and that was just a couple days. Like all the white areas in Pittsburgh got the power back, lickety split. And that's I forgot the name of the fucking electric company out there. But then all like the lower income black neighborhoods, they were like, oh, we'll deal with that. You know, we'll get there when we get there. By day 6, motherfuckers was outside like, listen, you either gonna fix this power or we gonna fuck up everybody else's power. I shit you not. That was an argument that happened with like people went on the news, like Channel 11 WPXI, Channel 11 News in Pittsburgh. There was like dude on the news who was like, they were like, what's your plans? Because I think he lived in like Homewood. He was like, well, what's your plans? He was like, I just think it's fucked up. You go down to I'm gonna say the word, the Jewish communities and the white neighborhoods on the south side, they all got power. Now I know where the main, because you know those they always have those like those facilities where all the electric runs through for certain areas. He's like, me personally, I used to be an electrician. He's like, I'll go around and start fucking everybody else power up till my shit get fixed. And I'm just like, at that point I feel that, because why is this power fixed in these areas in 2 days, 3 days? And then
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
This just, so for all the talk about how dangerous Gary is and how long they've been without power, there has not been any crazy violence out there. So
I did hear about the guy running around throwing shit at people.
I mean, if that's it for Gary, the murder capital of the United States at one point in time,
yeah.
You know, so that goes to show you the changes that are going through Gary and how great of a people that they have there. Gary, for real, like Northwest Indiana, for me, I grew up in Kalamazoo, Michigan, born and raised out there. On my 18th birthday, I moved to Arizona. I lived out there in the Phoenix area for 6 years. And then I came here. This is the first time I've ever felt like home in my life. So this area is... It's a really good area. It has a bunch of really great communities. And that goes to show you, like, the people of Gary are very good, resilient people. And the government that they have there, everybody has a really good relationship with the government. I've had the opportunity working in production to work with the Councilman Tolliver and Gary pretty closely, doing podcast work, doing stuff for the candidates for the past election, and meeting a lot of the candidates. They're good people. It wasn't really spicy with the elections and whatnot. It's just good people. Northwest Indiana, they're really, really good people. There's Southern people up north, really good people, hospitable people, will take you in. You can walk around. It's some areas that look and feel terrifying, but there are some really beautiful areas. So it just goes to show you like how resilient the people are for all of this to be going on, and they're not in the streets and they're not looting like that. There's going to be some places that steal, but it's not like Ferguson.
Well, I don't know if you've heard this before. How the looting and stuff usually starts. It isn't because bad people are out to do bad things. The looting and stuff, and I'm hoping that they fix the solution soon. But the looting is going to start personally with my eyes, because this is what I would do, and I'm just going to be very transparent with it. If I don't have power by day 15. And now I got starving kids. I don't have the gas to keep driving all the way 45 minutes in either direction to go get gas. The power company isn't doing what they're supposed to do. Yes, the government officials are trying their hardest, but essentially NIPSCO is a private entity. The looting's going to start when people start not being able to get the proper materials that they need. Because
yes.
I think a lot of people fail to understand here is like grocery stores and any stores in the area already are going to be empty. The shelves are going to be gone. They're not going to restock, especially if there's no power. And if you travel outside these outer areas, by the time they restock, everything's gone again. Because it's not, like you said, it's not just Gary, it's not just Portage, it's not just Month. It's the whole. Wait, what did you say? What's the area? The north.
Northwest Indiana.
Yeah, all of Northwest Indiana. So anywhere you go within a 30, probably 40-mile radius is going to be drained of supplies, drained of proper stuff. You fucking. I'm assuming CVS and pharmacies aren't open, so nobody's going to be able to get their medicine and medications. They're going to have to call their doctor's offices and get those transferred, and that's if they have the gas money. We're going to have people with situations like that. The older gentleman who lost his wife, or houses are just going to eventually start falling apart after a while because, hey, there's no people don't. I think people fail to realize how bad it gets when you don't have power. Like if an EMP went off in the United States today, right now, all across the U.S., looting's going to start much faster because it affects a larger populace of people. But like you said, Gary, Indiana is full of lovely, nice people. But when this situation trickles to an effect of
they're not there yet, but it could get there. It could get there.
and then you already said people are defending themselves. People already have guns. People already, it's going to get to that point to where if they don't fix this soon, and God forbid that happens, and I hope they figure this the fuck out. But if I live in Gary, and then I go to Munson, is what you said?
Munster.
Munster. Was it Munster?
It's like monster with a U.
Munster.
Yeah.
And I go to Munster and I drive through Munster on some like humble to see what's going on in the outskirts. And I see people fucking jogging and walking their dogs and their fucking porch lights are on. Me and the guys gonna go back home, wait till fucking midnight and go back to Munster because what the fuck is going on right now? But that's the honest truth of how this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm hoping the governor and and NIPSCO. I hope the governor is on NIPSCO's ass.
Yeah, because I tell you, the local government is. Like I mentioned earlier, Eddie Melton just dropped another video, less than a few hours ago, talking about how NIPSCO has not been transparent with the city of Gary, and that they need transparency and they need updates and they need some real results. And there's been little to no information on the city of Gary specifically, and the city of Portage, but definitely on the city of Gary. So it's unfortunate, and but he's doing his part. It's just that damn NIPSCO, man. They do what they want.
Well,
They do what they want. And they've reacted pretty decent. But the thing is like you don't have to get ready if you stay ready.
okay. So do you see this situation being fixed before the end of August?
Like, bro, like to be real with you, like
that bro let me know everything I needed to hear. Oh my God, that bro was just like, that was the nigga. Let me tell you something.
hey, yo, dog.
Damn.
I just went to the grocery store and I said, "Fuck it, I'm buying groceries for the office fridge and bet nobody take my stuff because I live there now." You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry.
Hey, yeah, chill.
So, okay.
But yeah, no, like essentially I live there now. Like that's
that's where you're at now, yeah. So you don't even have a couch in there, do you?
no in my other I'm in my office. This is my office, and then we have a like an office building. I'm in my office in my studio, and then we have an office building, and there's a couch in there. And traditionally, it's in somebody else. It's in my business partner's office, so I don't like to usually. I'm very prideful, bro. I'm very, very prideful. But I had last night.
Oh, did you see that comment that somebody just said?
What?
So she said, "Let's talk about how Munster had a Red Cross passing meals out. That was the only community and that had Red Cross available."
Yeah. Well, the thing is like the communities are very, they're very they're like their own cities for real. They're so big. They're their own cities for real. Like Munster has a downtown. Munster has their own July 4th parade. They just had their national night out, and that they won nationally as a city. They won last year. They won out of all the national night outs for the entire nation. They won that last year. So they're a very prideful area. They're a very Christian area. They're a very conservative area. They're a very Republican area, but they do take care of everyone in that area. I do business specifically with Munster Police Department, with Munster Lions Club, with the Chamber of Commerce. That's who I work with as my company. So, yeah, but if you don't live in Munster.
So I know earlier when we were on the phone, videos that I still have, I didn't edit the whole thing yet. You were talking about the Sundown Town. That's on the
Oh yeah, that's over by me. That's Hobart.
Okay, they're also without power, right?
They got a lot of their power back. Yeah.
I bet they did. Do you feel any? Sorry.
It didn't hit. Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you feel any not concern for yourself, but do you feel any concerns about the sundown town, like people in that area, kind of?
With that, it's more of that is more of the police. Actually, the police in Northwest Indiana are really good, but in Hobart specifically, I had to learn. Like you just gotta, as a black man, you just gotta know. Like at night, speed limit. You know, like I've been
Gotcha.
pulled over plenty of time. Like when I first moved here, I lived in a city called Cedar Lake, which is down south quite a bit. Not quite a bit, but it's still Northwest Indiana, but it's just on the southern part of Lake County. And I was working in Maryville, so it's like a half-hour drive through the country, and you're coming up on the freeway and whatnot. So it was a pretty decent drive. And there's certain cities that I would have to go through in order to get to work, and I would get pulled over every single day because of my plate. It was an Arizona plate when I moved out here. So you just after a while, and they would tell you, "Hey man, we ain't gonna tell you too many times," blah blah blah. And it's white police officers. You got to, and so if you're black out here, you learn to build a relationship with the police officers and with the community to protect yourself from that. Because if they don't know you, they don't fuck with you really. And that's only in certain places, very specific places. Hobart is one of those places where if you driving on Ridge, you got to be careful because the speed limit is going to change in a mile, maybe 3 or 4 times, and they will pull you over if you do not adjust. So head on a swivel. I
Okay.
don't go that way very often unless I got to check on my friend, But yeah, I don't usually go around that way.
Okay.
So
For the people that are watching and the people who are going to be watching this on YouTube after the fact, is there anything that you just want to say or talk about here in the moment while we're still live for this couple minutes that people just need to know? Or also, I wanted to ask you too. Tomorrow, if you get a chance, if you're just driving around, could you maybe get some videos for me? Then I'll credit you, of course.
I I,
Just
I,
showing.
I grabbed some today actually
What
that
did you?
I was gonna send to you, but I was thinking about areas that I could show you that that I know
Oh
are.
yeah, of course. If you could totally send those over,
Yeah.
whatever that'd be lovely. I'll probably post that video in the morning just to give like an update. To talk about this so people can watch this. But anything, like I said, anything you feel like people need to know, or context, or just anything that you can just rattle off the top of your mind for a couple minutes that people you think here right now watching it on YouTube need to know about what's happening.
Yeah, just for me, just to make sure that I emphasize, Gary has a government full of black folks that love and care for the community, that do great for the community. So I don't want anyone to feel like the government of Gary, Indiana, has failed the city. I don't want anyone to feel like our state representation isn't out there because Frank Mervan has been out there. He just won his election and he's right out there in the trenches. And I run into him. He's a representative for the whole area, but I personally run into him at all the small little local events. So they're doing their part. It's just that damn NIPSCO. And
So
I
do you? Like Keith Lee said he was coming,
Mhm.
and it's a lot of this. Do you feel like there is a need for like content creator? Let's change that a little bit for people who want to come help. Do you feel like there's
And
a
if
need?
they're coming to genuinely help and they do it the right way, Keith Lee is in contact with the mayor and with their office. So if he's going that way, then he's doing it the right way, and it'll be done the right way. Because Mayor Melton don't really do too much that ain't the right way. He's organized so many events in the last 2 years that go off without a hitch, including like the Jacksons and when Michael movie came out, he had all of all the cast come out and to go to the house and all that stuff went off without a hitch. He had a day for the Jacksons where Chris Tucker came out. All goes off without a hitch. No violence, no nothing. So he gets stuff done, and I believe in him. And I just don't want people to think that it's just the other powers that be that are when they're in control, they're in control.
Okay. Well,
I personally, just to be vulnerable, I I struggle with depression uh, earlier in my life quite a bit, and I've learned how to get through therapy, how to get through certain things emotionally. But I can't tell you how demoralizing it is to not have control over your whole life. When you go to work and you work hard for the money that you get, and you buy the things that you got, and what you got doesn't you can't even you be in your house and enjoy your home and enjoy your lights being on and enjoy the things that you buy for your home and the TV that you bought and the couch that you bought, and everything is rotting in your home, and you got to go back to work to keep it, and you're just helpless. Like, it's very depressing. I have a lot of friends. I have friends that lost houses. I have right next door, right here, uh, my neighbor Alex. He lost his garage with both of his cars in it. They can't remove the tree because they don't know what's under it foundationally. The whole tree came up from the root and fell on his garage and everything, and took out like a 3-car garage. That's how big the tree was. It's crushed. You know, he said on, I'm not putting any business out there, but he let me know, like, I don't know. They're capping it. They're capping how much, because it's not an entity of his home. They're capping how much that they can give him to fix everything, and he just doesn't know.
What, like his homeowner's insurance or something?
Yeah, it won't cover the whole thing.
So with these fucking people.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like I said, I know people
Is there
who
any
lost.
kind of crowdfunding or anything going on for the people of Gary to, like, besides local government? Is anybody even trying to, like, I know Keith Lee's coming. I know I keep bringing that up, but, like, is there any kind of fundraising going on?
I'm sure there are in the communities, because that you just don't hear about. I don't want to say that no one's doing anything, because the city government is doing a lot, and every day you're seeing it pop up on your feeds. You're seeing people in the streets. You're seeing, the communities. Munster definitely has a very strong community, and they're coming together. Portage community, they have a group chat, and it's the most lit group chat you'll ever experience, and there's thousands of people in there lit with the mayor. The mayor's in the group chat and pops in on people. Austin is really funny. So, like, they keep it together enough to where I'm not overly worried or and concerned about looting and things like that, because I think they have a hold on it. It's just, what are people going to lose, and can they financially recover?
Yeah, so to give you a little bit of background, I have a friend, prior service. I actually needed to call him. I haven't talked to him in a minute. His name's Jay. Actually, you may know him if you follow politics a little bit. He is the guy who burned the American flag on the White House lawn the day Donald Trump was like, "You can't burn the American flag," and he went
Oh, really?
around. Yeah, he was the prior service vet who walked over to the White House lawn and said, "Okay, well, this is my First Amendment right," and lit the flag on fire. He beat that case. They had him in court for a year. But before that, he informed me of something, because I don't know if you know this. I suffer from depression too. I had a situation happen a few weeks ago where my mental health wasn't the best. And everybody's like, "Triv, why are you jumping back into this shit?" I'm like, well, I can't stop, because I mean, as black men, you get it, bro. We can't stop just because
No,
we don't get. Oh, I need a mental health day. We don't get that.
we're not afforded the luxury.
We
We're
don't have
not.
that. Yeah.
I
If you
talk
if you
about it so much.
if you stop, like, you run your own production company, me doing social media. If we stop, it's like we're quitters to everybody.
Yeah.
We are. It's just not in. It's just we don't have that. We don't have the luxury.
We
We
and
don't
we get a lot more. I knew you couldn't do it versus I knew you could do it. There's
exactly,
not a I knew you could do. There's not many of those. You have to earn that. You know.
exactly. Yeah, you gotta be rich. You gotta be Kanye West, Jay Z, Beyonce, and all these other rich black people who essentially don't really give a fuck about the communities they came from.
Mhm.
And just be like, well, Kanye West, for example, can take fucking mental health months and then come back and be like, let me just go drop a show with I literally just saw a post on my timeline the other day of Kanye West, who everybody swears up and down is canceled, where he just did a fucking show, which was one, like, I don't know if you saw it. He fired off like 3,000 fireworks into the sky when he was playing all of the lights, and went
I'm
on the
sure.
run. Bro, it
I
was
mean,
crazy shit.
when he come every time he comes back to Chicago, it's sold out.
That's what Jay-Z was just here in New York. This nigga sold out the show, but everybody wants to cry and say Jay-Z's a fucking pedophile. He is. I'm just gonna say it here. I'm not a hater. I'm just gonna say it what it is. Beyonce was not. If fuck that, we're gonna say it on this live. I know we're a little off topic here. If Beyonce was no, my bad. Fuck that. If Aaliyah was a minor when she was fucking with R. Kelly before she died, there is photos and proof that she was fucking with Jay-Z more than just a friend, and she was younger than she was when she was fucking with R. Kelly. That nigga's a pedophile. Like, there's photos of that shit. But whatever. My point here.
He made Blueprint, nigga. What do you want me to do? I don't know. I don't know.
You're right, man. But we
you know, you get that dirt off your shoulder, nigga. You know, remember New York on the hat? I don't know. What do you want me to do? Yeah, and I mean, you can't cape for him because if you cape for one, you cape for them all. You cape for him, you cape for Donald Trump. It's the same shit, and you can't play back and forth. It's nasty. It's nasty. It's nasty work. The 90s were nasty. It was nasty. They were all nasty. Dame Dash was nasty. They were all nasty. DMX was nasty. Big Pun was nasty. They all were nasty. It was just a nasty time. It's nasty time. We're doing nasty things.
I think that's well, we're so off topic right now, but fuck it. I think the problem is, especially in our communities that we don't talk about, was they tried everything in the government's power to disparage black people. Right? They try to keep us down. They try to make sure we can't make no money anywhere. They have single-handedly have destroyed communities from Los Angeles, California, to the Bay Area, to New York City, down to Florida, where the Haitians and the Zoes and all that shit are. They have essentially tried to put these people on hold. I'm not making an excuse for Diddy, R. Kelly, anybody we name. Fucking Dr. Dre was beating women and assaulting women. Like, there's a whole documentary on Hulu about him beating women. Exactly. He beat the fuck out of her for years. Like, but we don't. The only one I've ever heard anything negative about is fucking Ice Cube, because that nigga minds his goddamn business. But
he's got Coco. That's probably the difference. But anyway,
ain't been with her. You feel me? He been with his wife. Ice Cube ain't leave that girl. But my point here is when all this was going on in the 80s and the 90s, and crack hit the street and money was abundant, right? You get all these people who essentially were growing up in time periods. Tupac, Diddy, Jay-Z, all these people, not making excuses for him, R. Kelly, growing up in predominantly black neighborhood. Michael Jackson even. Michael Jackson has been exonerated of all his accusations for years, decades. But at the end of the day, you get these people who get a lot of money very fast, who look like us, and they don't know what the fuck to do with it, especially in the 80s and 90s. The money that they were making then is equivalent of millions now, and then the only ones that made it are Kanye, the ones that are still alive or not in fucking prison for crimes.
And with no internet.
Exactly. They was outside selling disc on the street. Your name meant something back then. Now niggas can just go on their TikTok and be like, oh, who's this nigga? Oh, okay. Let me go download his song. I'm not going to listen to it again. So when it comes down to it, and like in communities like Gary and all these other communities across the United States, who are going to be essentially dealing with this, with global warming happening, weather patterns changing all across the continent and outside of this continent. I think Europe is facing one of the hottest years on record was last year, and I'm pretty sure this year was one of the hottest years on record. I think 4 years ago, it was so hot in China, or 2 years ago in China, people were taking public baths in fucking fountains in parks because it was so hot. They don't have ACs in Europe. With the climate changing everywhere across the globe, I think even people keep saying, oh, we're not going to have cold winters anymore. That's a lie. See, what people fail to realize when climate change happens, especially like in Gary, Indiana, I'm at fear. We're moving into fall. We are 3.5 weeks away from fall. I strongly believe the weather, I can already feel it outside. I live in Jersey. I was outside the other day. It was cool as a bitch. It said it was 70-something degrees outside. I'm like, how the fuck is it 70 degrees? And yesterday it was 97. We are going to get into this effect of extreme cold, extreme hot, right? Because the weather's going to keep doing this. So now, these people who are dealing with this now in Gary it gets fucking 35 degrees in Texas and people start dying.
But we remember in Gary, we get it worse because we get lake effects now.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So between lake effects, people die in Chicago every time it gets negative fucking 7 degrees. The homeless start dying on record.
20 minutes from Chicago.
Exactly. So if they don't fix this power issue, and even if they do fix it, I'm sure it's going to be a band-aid solution. So now, when the next time it's negative 10 degrees in Gary, Indiana, is all the power going to shut off, and now you're freezing in your home?
God,
Like,
I
there's a
hope
lot
not.
of.
Like, you
I
just
hate to say. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to bring that up. I
unlock
apologize.
this new fear of
But
me
I'm sorry.
freezing.
But I apologize. But I'm
Because it's possible now. I don't trust the system. I don't
exactly.
trust them. I don't like. It's not. There's not much confidence in their ability to keep us safe, to keep us lit, to keep us warm, to keep us. No, like it's just not. It's not
So
like.
I think I think more awareness needs to be raised in this situation. I think NIPSCO needs to be called out everywhere on the internet as humanly possible because the internet is power at this point. Um, I think people need to understand that the people of, like you said, the people. I think I'm gonna make a video when we get off of here. It's gonna be late, but who gives a fuck? I just post shit at this point. It's gonna get suppressed or it's not. But I think the people need to understand the resilience of the people of Gary, the strong willpower to just survive in Gary, Indiana right now. I think if people have the means, like Keith Lee and others have the means to help Gary, I think do it from the safety and comfort of your own home and just help with like crowdfunding or raising money. I think that more people need to understand that this situation is going to be more than just Gary, Indiana, where the populace is not as large as Chicago or as large as St. Louis or as large as, minor cities. Pittsburgh, I think the population of Pittsburgh is 350,000 or 400,000. That's the people on the census. So if we go off that context, what's the population of Lake County? What, maybe.
Well, 300,000 people lost service.
So that's what I'm saying. So that's equivalent, but it's widespread. Like the Allegheny County is not widespread, but all of like the region of Pittsburgh is doubles, 300,000. But people have to take into consideration that if this happens in like a major city, like if this happens in Houston, Dallas, Los Angeles, Chicago, fucking New York City, if New York City lost power for 10 to 11 days, the streets mayhem. So I think people aren't bringing enough attention. I think it's only being talked about in bits and pieces and spurts. But we just I commend your resilience here and trying to
Appreciate it.
I appreciate you for even coming to talk to me. I think we're gonna be talking for the next couple weeks probably on
Yeah,
and off.
yeah.
Trying to figure out what's next steps here. I think even if brother, even if you want to do some for the community, I know you're dealing with your own shit, but even if you want to do something for your community, like start a resource funding or something, and you need my help to do that, just let me know. Think about it. For other people though, if you want to do some community work and you want to do that,
Yeah, we can do a little something like that. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I have a really good investor who's very, very in tune with what in our local government. So, yeah, we have a foundation for people in recovery. Is one of the other companies that we work with that he owns. But besides that,
like drug addiction.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy because that's what we were gonna do down in Philly. Well, some stuff happened, but we were supposed to go down to Philly here. We're probably gonna do it next month, but we're gonna go down to Philly and go down to Kensington and try to help the people down there. It's actually part hand in hand what me, Adam Cray, and some other creators are gonna try to do. But look, how about this? I'm gonna say this on live too. Why don't tomorrow? I'm busy at 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 4 p.m. But like around 6 or 7, why don't we get on a phone call and we talk about what we can maybe do to assist, even if it's crowdfunding or if it's whatever. Even if you want to talk to your investor and see if something he wants to pitch and maybe he has some ideas of what we could possibly do. I would love to assist with that. I clearly can't be on the ground in Gary, Indiana right now with life. Life is happening for everyone.
Oh yeah.
But
Absolutely.
I want to be able to, help. That's my biggest goal with what I do on Breaking Fuck the News is to teach people, have people know something that they didn't know. And I also do a lot of I don't know how long you've been following me, but I do a lot of community aid. I've raised a lot of money for a lot of people to help them do a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I think this is something
You
I
need
can probably.
trenches for sure.
Yeah, man. I think it's the first time in the last 7 months I've just been home and not doing
There was
shit.
a, there was a couple of times I was like, "Hey, yo, dog, like, you good, man? You
You
being
see that Malibu back there?
You said what?
You see that Malibu back there?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
got Malibu. You see, there's Cutwater's next to him, man. I be having
yeah.
to, but let's see what we can do. I appreciate you for taking your time here. I want to be able to let you get some rest. You know, I mean, as much rest as you can get, brother. We'll talk tomorrow. And is there anything you want to say to anybody? Or does anybody here have any questions? Actually, let's knock those out real quick. I didn't even give anybody an opportunity to ask anything. Let's give it a second. It's like a fucking 20-second delay. Give it a second. But yeah, man, I think we could probably do something pretty, spectacular. Maybe raise enough money for fucking anything. Maybe we raise enough money, I'll fucking pop up out there. We could do some like going around to the communities, really documenting. I'm working on a documentary right now for deed theft here in New York. That's what I got to do all day tomorrow. So maybe we can even document what's happening in Gary, Indiana, because as we know, when Katrina happened, the documentaries that came out didn't come out for years after the fact. They didn't talk about all the inmates that were locked in jails that drowned to death. They didn't talk about the white supremacist groups that were going around just shooting black people. They didn't talk about all the bodies that were floating in the water. And it took years. There was a Hulu thing, last year that fucking broke the internet for weeks because people didn't know what the fuck was going on. I have a sister who lived down in New Orleans at the time this all happened. And it was one of the worst moments of her life. I've never lived through anything drastic to that extent, but I have lived through 5 different wildfires that have made me evacuate my home multiple times as a kid. No questions. Let us know ASAP how we can donate and help. Yeah. So why don't we do this? So Stephen, why don't me and you powwow tomorrow at some point, and we'll see how we could do this crowdfunding thing. If it's you starting it or however we're going to do it. And then we'll go from there. Since you have connections with the council members and stuff like that, if we, in the next couple of days, if it does plan on like me popping up out there for a little bit, just maybe talk to them and see if there's something that we could talk to them about doing this too. So, I don't want to step on nobody's toes, but clearly the people of Gary, Indiana need a little bit of assistance.
Yeah, I'll reach up and see. I'll get with my councilman and see if where we should direct people in the right place so we can make sure we touch the.
And just let them know it wouldn't just be me. I can have other content creators really boost this who do a lot of fundraising. This is something that they would definitely want to talk about, definitely want to assist with, definitely want to, I know money isn't the only thing that can help the situation, but at least we can maybe, if, you're getting the money and then we get food out, like you may have to drive. That's why I want to come out and help you. I don't want you to do it on your own, but
the people that I know, it'll go to the right places for sure.
Okay. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we could, provide a little bit of assistance for the time that this is going on. But we'll talk tomorrow after fucking my last meeting at 4, and then we'll go from there. And then in the next couple of days, moving forward, we'll figure out what the best avenue is with maybe some
sounds good
assistance, and then we could spread the awareness for that and hopefully get some help out there.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate your time. We're gonna
thank you.
Skedaddle up out of here.